an energy check. There's a lot of movement going on. Seeing a lot of fives. There's a big change in the energy. Big change in the energy. This is just gonna be collected energy check. We'll see what comes through. Please only take what actually resonates, and if it doesn't, it's not your message. You'll find all my information in the description box below once this video is uploaded, but we are recording live for now. Let's see what the spirit has for us. We have Neptunian energy and lead at the bottom of that here. I feel like it's lead. I feel like we're moving out of a very dense and heavy energy. This Neptune energy is kind of what's coming, which is a lot more dreamy and creative. I think Pisces. There is a message about taking some time to explore internally any areas where you might still feel any bits of like insecurity about what you're creating. There's something about that, and we're in a 9 here, so it's like you're closing out a cycle. If you're resonating with this. And this just collectively, we're closing out a massive cycle, which can still take some time, but especially with this Neptunian energy here, it's like, it's reinforcing our vision for the future. So we want to take that time to go in and explore internally, see any areas where we might need to work on releasing resistance to allow for more flow, because Neptunian is going to be more free energy, more dreamy, much more abstract, right? And this is very different. This is a very different energy. So it's very blocky, hard, rough, heavy, very stark, black and white, polarizing, right? Because now we're like bringing color back in, but it's also, it's indigo. We have these yellow stripes here, so we're tuning our personal power into beyond, kind of drawing the two in together to create something entirely new for a future for all of us, really. And each one of us is doing this individually as well. Excuse me one second. Sorry, making soup. So we're each doing this individually as well, because we are in the age of Aquarius now, so essentially what's happening is we're moving into much more like individualized presence, if that makes sense. And while we do that, I think we can find that we actually are able to celebrate diversity a lot more easily and be able to connect with each other and share in our experiences without as much shame. And that is the beauty of this time, of kind of shaking up all this corruption and bringing it up to the surface, even though it's a very tough process to move through. This is a process of alchemization. We are actually seeing this very physically out in greater reality as well right now, and you're probably seeing this individually in your own personal life as well. If you have been seeing 555, hey, what's up? If you have been seeing 555, again, that's something I've been seeing a lot. Also 222 and 333, so relationships, collaboration is important as much as individuality. We're actually able to collaborate better once we accept ourselves more fully, and we can accept others as they are, and we are much more willing to experience something new outside of ourselves as well when we do have that solid relationship with ourselves. So this is the time that we're kind of moving into, why you're seeing all this corruption come out right now, and why this is such an important time to kind of get on board with your personal healing journey, because any bit of healing you do, even the smallest amount, is going to contribute to the greater collective energies out there and make this process a hell of a lot easier for all of us. Yeah, so we got 4 of Swords, Temperance, and this is really, I have been getting the energy of like psychic healing lately, with Temperance here. It's all divinely guided, very much in flow, in motion. So with big changes, it can come as in any kind of form. You could be switching jobs. Rest in peace, Red Room. What does that mean? You could be switching jobs. You could be moving locations. You could be entering a new friend group. You could, all sorts of things. So things you might notice are shifting around in your life right now, which can feel destabilizing, right? Which is why we go in and see, okay, why does this feel so destabilizing, and how can I feel that stability again? How can I feel secure within myself again, even through this change? And so, and again, it's that connection from the personal power to our crown here, which is our relationship with the divine. So when you sit in your seat or throne of sovereignty and you embody your full potential, right? You develop your relationship with whatever's beyond. That's your crown that you wear, right? That's the crown you earned through going through that kind of ranking system spiritually. That is what it's all about. It's not about hierarchy in any way. It's about your inner capacity and what you've actually worked for, like internally, to get there. And you want to start from the bottom chakra if you're not completely grounded yet in your root, the red one, your root chakra. You got to start there first. Clean all that out into your sacral, your essential creative energy, right? And your solar plexus is your powerhouse energy. That's where all your confidence comes from. That is something that is built over time by understanding who you are and what you're here to do. The more you know yourself, the more confident you'll be, and the more you can come into the heart space, clear all this out, and the more compassion that you can have for others, the more capacity for love that is more unconditional than the majority of people are able to experience. And then you from there you keep clearing out, because you're able to express yourself freely. You clear out the throat, right? Then your third eye, and then your crown. So you're able to see beyond. Your creativity is going to be a lot more off the charts. You're going to be able to create a lot more original work when you clear these upper chakras here, when you clear your expression, because now you're drawing from somewhere beyond yourself. But when you're kind of suppressed or blocked in any way, you're going to be creating from a space that is within the smaller self, and there's nothing wrong with that, because that's its own process of transmutation. So creating from that is absolutely beautiful. That's how we transform it, and then we rise up, and then now we can really, when you get to know yourself well, that's when you're really finding your voice, right, and creating completely original. That's where you want to get to. So that's kind of what this healing is all about in this time. And you're going to see this manifest in all sorts of ways, because you're already seeing it, like, I feel like neurodivergence ties into this heavily too, because this is, it's more of an evolutionary phenomenon rather than a mental health disorder. It's not a disorder at all, actually. It's just not supported currently by the society that we have built up. But this is the shift that we're making, so that we can kind of support our biology, a lot better when we shift the way that we do things to meet our collective needs for today. Understand? And this is why it's so divinely supported in this time, because this is something that needs to happen for everyone. This is really important that it happens for everyone, because this is how we're going to be able to come together. if we don't do this individually, it makes it a lot harder. If we don't work through our insecurities, then you'll see a lot of people start projecting them because they're afraid to work on them and meet themselves more deeply. And we can only meet each other as deeply as we met ourselves. So the more deeply we can meet ourselves, the more we can actually allow for true intimacy in all of our connections. Hey. And then we have this Ace of Swords coming out as well. That was on the bottom of the deck, which is about embodying your truth. This is about you stepping out and becoming all that you can be, living in your actual potential as a human being, not blocking or suppressing any aspects of yourself, but finding the higher expression of whatever it is that you're experiencing, right? So we're always presented with a certain environment and situation, different people, etc., and we have to work with whatever we're presented with, right? And both internally and externally, although it's going to be our internal and external worlds reflect each other, so they're inverse, right? Just like you're looking in a mirror, if you lift your left hand, it's going to look like your right hand in the mirror, right? So it's inverse. So the external reality will be more logical, straightforward, whereas internal reality is going to be a lot more abstract and symbolic. But it's yin-yang, so you still get that dot of abstract symbolism and illusion in external reality. You get that dot of truth, logic, linear reality, and things that make sense in a way that humans make sense of things, understand? And okay, also I'm getting, because we are in the age of Aquarius, so shit's gonna get weird, and that's a good thing. Get as weird as you can, be as weird as you can. Mind you, I don't know you yet, so if you start showing up regular and you're cool, then I'll mod you, but not until I get to know you, because I've had some odd mods before. Yeah, so we're all stepping into our individual truths, and by doing this, by embodying our individual potential of what we can be, because we're accepting ourselves so fully, we're actually going to be able to love and support each other much more. I appreciate you so much. Again, like I said, start showing up regularly, and I absolutely will. But I don't really see you often, so start showing up. I'll be here. Let's go a little deeper. I feel like a lot of peace coming in this time too, especially after such a hectic time collectively where the energy is so heavy because we're bringing up all this corruption. Everything is being exposed right now. It's a lot to take in. It's deeply traumatizing for all of us. A lot of truth is coming in, but it's also bringing peace. And notice how we are going upwards in this staircase. So it is leading ultimately to our liberation. Because we've kind of been in this state, this heaviness where it's been restricting our freedoms, right? We have been having them taken away from us instead of being as free as we're meant to be. Gonna be here the whole time. Okay, awesome. I appreciate you. So, embody your weird. Stay grounded though, especially when things are like dreamier and floatier and more abstract. That is a time where we really need to make sure we are staying grounded. And how do you do that? Get into your body. Even just a walk every day. Like, make sure you're connecting with earth or like, yeah, your body, because that's your vessel. That'll keep you really grounded. You can literally do any kind of activity to anchor yourself in while you're exploring these abstract spaces, if that makes sense. Me, I like to bounce around between different things, but I use art of all different kinds, whatever the flow whatever I feel needs to come through the day. That's how I move. I just let the energy flow through, and then I know what to do with it. Sometimes I do yoga because that's what helps me, or to just lay on the floor because that's just what I need. Sometimes I need to let go entirely and just be nothing, and that's an exploration on its own. Exploring empty void space, I'd say, is really important too. It's going to be the balance that we all need to do these simple things for ourselves, just to reconnect ourselves with our roots again, so that when we do move forward, we're a lot more prepared. And when we take this time to slow down, we can envision a future for ourselves that is actually new, where we're actually breaking a cycle and we're not repeating history over and over again like we have been collectively for how long? We see it over and over again, but we still aren't fully learning from it for some reason. But I think this age of Aquarius is a really important time to where hopefully it really clicks. I have really high hopes anyways. I've been seeing it in the energy and it feels really good. Been kind of going up and down, kind of zooming out and zooming back in as I do. But it is definitely a time of embodying your weird, embodying everything that you can be, and exploring and getting really curious about life. Taking time to slow down and reflect, taking time to dream about your future. That's a beautiful thing. Don't ever let anyone tell you that it's wrong or lazy or anything like that, because it's not. We live in a society currently that is completely overproductive and is not working for us at all anymore. I think we're all realizing that, which is why we're in the state that we're in. And it is so important for us right now to dream, to see how we can improve our reality so that it serves all of us as a whole, not just a few of us. It is going to take a lot of exploring, and a lot of people have not explored their emotional depths because of kind of the society that we're brought up in. There's a lot of emotional suppression and blockages, and these things can be scary and confusing because they can have so many illusions tied to them, and it can be very unclear. So you have to really, especially if you're really caught up in the mind, that's where it can get really scary. You experience a lot of fears. You're not understanding. You maybe have certain stories attached, whether you understand it or not. But when we actually feel and get the full release through the heart space, let go of the story, we'll get the truth from the heart. And that's where real healing happens, because oftentimes we're wrong. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're always wrong, because there are things in the mind that we see that are important to look at as well. And it might not always make sense right away, but usually at some point it does. This is a process that it really just takes time for people, but I do encourage everyone to go into their depths and explore, because it is a really beautiful process to get to know yourself better and to understand who you are so well that nothing can deter you from your path, and you are fully living in purpose when you do that. It's you going through this process is basically just you forgetting everything that you thought that isn't you and realigning with who you truly are deep down. And that's going to be the most freeing thing in all of life that you ever experience. So I've got 7 of Cups, the 7 of Swords reversed, 10 of Wands reversed. So again, 7 of Cups can really be this dreamy energy. It connects so well to that Neptune energy. And we've got these frogs here too, and frogs I love because when they're bouncy and fun, and they ribbit, but also because they're amphibians. Did I say that right? So they're kind of at the edge, kind of bridging between, land, the material earth energy, and water, that kind of dreamy, ethereal energy. And there's two frogs here, so again, relationships are important. Exploring the depths of your relationship with yourself and reflecting on yourself. Also, taking your external experiences and relationships around you and seeing what those reflect back to you as well, and how you can deepen your personal relationships by learning to love yourself more. You end up learning to love others more as well. And then with the Seven of Swords reverse, the Ten of Wands reverse, again, all these illusions coming to light, which is clearing up all this heavy energy, and this is closing out a massive cycle. This is a repeated message over and over, lots of change that is closing out a very dense and heavy period of all of our lives, and by taking this time to slow down and dream right now and dream ourselves into a better future, and yes, act on that too, but balancing it with rest and that time to envision clearly what we want to move towards, then we can actually make solid preparations to take actionable steps towards that, right? But we had to see everything clearly so that we could actually move beyond, because if we just ignore it, right, sweep it under the rug, bypass it all, then you can't really do anything. It's going to be something that continues to fester and continues to get worse as we've seen over time. And this is why societies end up falling without realizing it, because they're not going in to do that deeper inner work to get these internal experiences that will create real growth and depth of character, right? That's what's really important. So big changes, and it might feel rough, powers come down for a reason. So now we can dance on the rubble and rebuild, and we can do it together in a way that serves us all. I think that's truly the only important thing in this time right now. We need to be working through all these things and towards healing together, and of course that's going to look different for everyone, but what feels like loss, what was painful in the past, what felt impossible in the past, is going to be changing in a really big way. The pain is not so much anymore. It will be clearing the more we keep healing, and more energy of collaboration. The Three of Cups here, and this is again very emotional energy. So strengthening our relationship to ourselves strengthens our relationships with others all around us as well. That's really important. I think I'm gonna leave this one there. That's a really good message. I'm glad that came through actually. Thank you for being here with me, and I'm looking forward to seeing you some more ribbons. Alright, catch you guys later. Como les que tengo